Welcome back to the off-grid property, guys. It is September 18th, Monday. It is 5 p.m. and it's 82 degrees. It has been over 2 months since I've been up here. And if I appear to be tired, you are correct in your assumption. I'm extremely tired. I've been awake since yesterday, because I work nights, and this is my Saturday, Monday. I just got up here about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, guys, I haven't been up here for, I think July 10th was the last time I was up here. I have not been able to get up here. The monsoons came in as expected and just wreaked havoc. Not complaining. The ground, the land, it needed the water for sure. Everything is super overgrown. Just weeds and wildflowers everywhere. As far as you can see, my driveway, my road in here, it doesn't even look like a road anymore. It's all overgrown. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know how to get here. So my road is completely overgrown, but that's okay. I gotta tell you, it's been about almost 2.5 months since I've been here, and man, have I been missing this place. Wow. Yes, I have been missing this place dearly. I haven't checked everything over yet because I just got here, but so far everything looks pretty normal. Yeah, so unfortunately I have to leave at like daylight on Wednesday morning because this was a 3-day weekend for me, scheduled, but last minute schedule change, and now I have to go back to work Wednesday. So I'm only up here, I don't count today because it's so late in the day and I just got up here, but I really have tomorrow, all day tomorrow, to get some stuff done. My purpose for coming up here, well, other than the fact that I have been homesick and missing this place like crazy, it's time that I started building. Y'all know I bought this tractor over here back, April of this year? Yeah, April. Bought this tractor. Unfortunately, well, I would say fortunately and unfortunately, I don't have a place to put this tractor. It's just sitting here. It's been covered up with a canvas tarp. I will add that this canvas tarp is holding up amazingly. These points right here, and you can see how tight it is on this point here. I don't see any wear. It's crazy. So this tractor has been sitting here like this since, if my memory serves, I believe the first week of May. And here we are in the third week of September, so over 4 months. It's been sitting here like this. I haven't put a key in it and fired it up once. Oh, look at that spider web. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a gigantic spider web right here. And up in there. All right, they made a home with my tractor. That's okay, I'm about ready to evict. I've got to build a structure. An outbuilding, a carport, whatever. I've got to build something that's going to protect this from the elements. And I got to get started on it. It's not going to be something that I complete quickly because I have limited time here. But I've got to get started on it. So, my one day here, I plan to get this thing fired up once again. The bucket. Side note, the bucket. I did not rest the bucket in this orientation. It has settled like that over time due to hydraulics. You know, they slowly lose pressure and gravity works. But the bucket has held water over time, as you can see by the water line along the edge of the loader bucket there. Well, I didn't expect to find a dead rat in the bottom of my loader bucket. So this thing has been full of water from time to time over the last couple of months. And I know that because I've been watching, whew, that rat stinks, from my surveillance over there. The cattle, they come through and they come over here and they drink from this bucket. It's basically a water trough when it's been full of water. And they come over here and they drink out of the loader bucket. But anyways, it's filled up with water and it looks like a rat climbed in there to get a drink and apparently lost his footing and, you know, he didn't make it. So I'm not heartbroken at all, because they caused quite a bit of damage, but I just thought that was interesting. Anyways, I'm up here because I need to figure out where I'm going to build basically a 20 by 20 carport to house my tractor and some firewood. And ideally, I'd like to put it right here in this area. But there's some obstacles in my way, including trees and just really large rocks. If you can, I don't know if you can tell, it's a pretty big rock. So who knows how far that goes beneath the surface. But ideally, I'd like the structure to be right here, where all of my tools and equipment are located. But if it's going to just be too much work to put it in here, I might have to find a more suitable location. And somewhere out there is far more suitable, but it's not as convenient once it's built. So we'll see. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and untarp the tractor. I'm going to stick a key in it and we're going to see if it fires up. All right, guys, I think that's all of the bungee cords. But man, is this tarp just completely conformed to the tractor. Let's pull it off. Whew. All right. So, there have been a couple of critters, it appears, up in my tractor. Hopefully they haven't chewed through anything. I know the fuel tank is full because I filled it up a couple of months ago when I was here. So I've got fuel, I just need to know that I have spark. So we're gonna put the key in and see what happens. Oh, we've got dash lights, that's a good sign. Woo, look at that. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. First week of May till September 18th, this thing has not run. And it fired right up. That's nuts. All right, we're gonna let it warm up. We'll get right back with you guys. All right, it's warmed up. Let's move this puppy. So, whoops. Hi, man. All right, guys. Well, that is where the tractor's going to sit until tomorrow. And the very first thing we need to do is we got to grease it. It's time. It's about 1 hour past its due greasing. And of course, it's been over 4 months since I've greased it. And it's been sitting out here in the weather. It needs it. So first thing we're going to do in the morning is grease this tractor. Well, hey, it's the next day. I feel a lot better. Could have used some more sleep, but that's all right. We got quite a bit of rain here in the last couple of months that I was gone. Several inches. Bunch of monsoons came through here over that time period. And man, everything has just exploded out here as far as the vegetation, all the weeds, the flowers, everything is just coming up like crazy. Everything is green. All the flowers have bloomed. Even the little cactuses have the little fruits on top, which I thought was pretty cool. My little pine tree is looking magnificent. Okay, so last night I noticed that we're having an issue with the solar power over in the shipping container. It does not want to come on. None of the power's coming on in there. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna need to troubleshoot it. But first thing I need to do today is grease the tractor. But before I do that, I'm gonna take you over real quick and show you some of the road work I did back here in March, April, and how it's held up over the torrential downpours that we've had over the past couple of months. And then I'll give you a very quick update on the trees that I planted over there in my little field. So let's go take a look. So here's my driveway, and you almost can't even tell it's a driveway anymore. I've got knee-high flowers, wildflowers, and weeds. Just growing everywhere. I don't know if you see how tall those are. It's ridiculous. Stuff has just grown like crazy out here. It's cool. I like it. It's very, very cool to see. So you can see how tall they are in reference to my dog. She's a full-size dog. Just walking through the flowers. Anyways, let's keep going. Okay, so right here, this turn in my road, this right here I did quite a bit of work on. This side of the road right here was really cut in from all the water runoff coming down the road here. So what I ended up doing is scraping a bunch of stuff from right there, dumping it here, leveling it out, and packing it in with the tractor tires. But you can see it's all still here. It hasn't washed away, which I'm pretty impressed with. And I think that's due to what I did up the hill here. Okay, so this is where the road starts to kind of go uphill. And I put a bunch of stuff right here, a bunch of material here, and it's all still here. You can see it a little bit washed out right here, just a trickle. But nothing major, not a big deal. This whole area right here was completely washed out. It was like a creek bed. So it's all still here, and we had a ton of rain. And I was expecting it to be washed out. Okay, so this is where I did most of the work on my road. It's not a very long section. It starts over there and comes here. But this was, I raised this up quite a bit. It was washed out pretty bad. And what was happening is all the water comes from, there's a hill up there. It comes down the hill, which used to be an old road, and then it would wash right into my driveway. And then over time, it's just washed out all this material all the way down. It's basically used my driveway as a path for the water to travel. But what I did was I cut all this out of here. I went down pretty deep. It's filled in some, but what's happening now is the water, it's running off the hill down here, and it does still come down into my driveway. But what it does is it comes right here where I really started piling up a bunch of material from here on, and it cuts right into this big ditch or basin that I dug out. And it's hard to tell on camera, but this is quite a bit higher here than it is right down there. So this goes downhill, and that's the deepest point. And I don't know if you can see it, but the cattle have been in here like crazy. And it looks like they got into this when it was full of water and were playing around in it, because it's just a mud hole full of hoof prints right now and a little bit of something else. But it seems to be working. Normally, before this was dug out like this, all of that water would have just continued down my driveway and just continue to wash it out all the way down, and then eventually it makes it over to my neighbor's place. But I'm impressed. It's working. I'm happy that my work that I did here was not destroyed by the weather so far. So I'm going to continue this on in the future all the way down and just build up the road, so all the water will just shed off into this ditch and not wash out the material on my road. All right, so we're over here at these 2 fruit trees I planted a little while back. So as I thought, the peach tree is dead. It did not survive. That little sprout at the bottom from the rootstock is thriving and growing quickly. As you can see, I'm just gonna go ahead and let it grow. I mean, it seems to be doing well. I don't know that it will make it through the winter here because it's not very established, but we'll see. The apple tree is doing great. Lots of new growth. I don't remember exactly what it looked like in the last video, but it's doing well and it looks very healthy. So I think that one might be a keeper. I do have to raise this cage up some more to keep the gigantic elk away from the treetops out here. But if I can do that, I think this thing will be a keeper. He's looking pretty good. Lots of new growth on it, I can see. So pretty happy about that. All right, let's get back over to camp. Look at that bright orange beauty. And it's a good looking tractor, I gotta say. It is a beautiful tractor. I'm happy that it's my first and hopefully my last, we'll see. But yeah, so far, completely and totally impressed with this thing. It's unbelievable what these things can do. Okay, so I've got a lot of stuff to do in a very short amount of time. I'll give you a look at what things look like real quick. Just completely overgrown here. This stuff's going wild. Just nuts. So yeah, I need to get myself a little riding mower to just come through here and clean all this up when this happens each year. But at some point today, I'm gonna have to take the off-grid washer, disconnect it, and try to get it in the back of my pickup truck. Yeah, I'm taking her back home. The washer we have there that actually replaced this one, it's having major issues and we can no longer use it right now. I'm gonna have to pull it apart and figure out what's wrong with it. Seems like it's gonna explode on the spin cycle. So something's not right in there. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get that in the back of my truck. I'm a pretty strong guy, so we'll see if I break my back, but I'm gonna try to lift that thing up and stick it in the back of my truck. My truck is pretty tall, as it is a Ford Super Duty, and all the newer heavy duty trucks, they're tall, which I like, but it's a pain to lift stuff up into the back of it. But yeah, so I gotta do that, and actually I have quite a bit of materials in the bed of the truck I gotta get out of there. Some of it's quite heavy, concrete. So I'm not looking forward to that. And I might take a look at the shipping container, go inside and see what's going on with the electrical in there, because there's no power. I don't know what's up. I have a sneaking suspicion and it's my fault, I believe, but I'll be able to tell you better later here. But while I'm doing all that, why don't you guys go ahead and take a look at the game camera footage. Had a lot of cool, interesting creatures on there, typical for this area, but pretty good shots of them. And you know, one really dumb animal, which frequents this land quite a bit. Someday I hope to get rid of them. Anyways, yeah, take a look. Tell me what you think. All right, so I got my truck unloaded. It's gonna be a little difficult for you guys to see maybe in here because it's a little dark. I don't have power. Got a couple of sonotubes, a few of them. I'm gonna be getting a lot more. My carport's gonna start off with 9 posts, 3 on each side and 3 down the center. If I was gonna do 3-foot footings, it would only require 4 bags at 80 pounds. My frost line here is around 32 inches, so I could get away with a 3-foot footing, but I couldn't find any that were 3 foot, so I bought 4-footers, and I don't know, we'll see. I might go 4 feet. I'm gonna leave some out above grade, give or take, for water and snow melt and runoff. But yeah, so I've only got 5 bags of concrete right now because it's all I feel like huffing around. But each time I come up here, I'm gonna bring more and more and more. Anyways, so I was saying earlier that I'm a strong guy, and I was gonna lift this washer into the back of my truck. Maybe once upon 20 years ago, I might have done it, but not now. It's got some weight to it, and I just don't feel like pulling my back out, like throwing my back out. Just not gonna do it. I don't want to be stupid. You gotta think smarter as you get older, so you last longer. So, I don't know. I think here's the problem. I really need pallet forks for my tractor. I just haven't gotten any yet, because that would make really quick work of this. I think I'm gonna take the tractor around. I'm gonna put the edge of the washer inside the loader bucket, and I don't know, it's probably not gonna balance very well, but I'm gonna try to tilt the bucket back so it bounces in there, and then I'm gonna lift it up, put it in the back of my truck. So let's do it. Just like that. All right, that worked out pretty well. I was expecting it to be a little more tippy because there's not a lot of depth in that bucket, and yeah, it worked out pretty good. All right, so I did go ahead and get the washer all strapped down in the back of the truck. I got the game camera operational again, once again. That tree way back there. That's where we see all of our wild animals. I went and greased all the fittings on the tractor, all the joints, the hinges, and it went by pretty quickly. Some of them were a little stubborn, but it's a good thing to grease often. Case in point, my tractor, it does typically sit with a tarp over it, but there are times here in the summer when it rains crazy, and some of that moisture gets down into these pivot points, and as I was greasing different parts, it was pushing some water out. So you don't want any water in there, especially not to sit. It'll could eventually rust out your pins. So glad I did that. Now, ideally, you know, this is my work area, right? So shipping container, which is basically my garage, my shop. Cargo trailer also being treated as a garage right now. All my scrap pile here. You know, I like everything over here and kind of tucked out of the way. And when you're over there, out in the middle of camp, you really can't even see any of this until you walk around this big old tree right here. So I kind of like that it's hidden. And I'd really like to put the carport right here. Take this tree out right here and just put a carport right here. This would be the front of it right here. The only issue is this little section, not little, this is part of many sections of my property that are very rocky. Lots and lots of rock. And these are, again, like icebergs. They look like something that can be easily moved on the surface, and then you start digging around them and they end up being a huge boulder. So this is probably not going to be a good place for a carport. For one, just digging out the holes for the footings, for the footers for the posts. Probably be a nightmare even with the backhoe. And I'd have to bring in quite a bit of fill in here just to, because some of these I'm not going to probably dig up. It's a lot of work to get all these big rocks out of here. So I'd have to bring in quite a bit of fill to cover them up, and I just don't want to put that much effort into a carport for the foundation. So I guess that one is not going to work. My other option was to put it, and this is not ideal in a practical sense, but over there where the white cargo trailer used to be parked. So over here, this is where I used to have that white cargo trailer back there by the shipping container. It used to be parked right here. You can still kind of see an outline of where it was, where the weeds haven't grown back as much yet. Yeah, it was parked here, but this section, it's already fairly cleared. Just got to move those. And it's there's a lot of topsoil here and very little rock. It's mostly just dirt. So this would be easy digging and much easier to put or to level out a pad. It'd just be a lot easier to build it here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. It's a bummer I can't put it over there. It's a lot of work to do it over there. It would take a lot of work. And my goal, I don't know how it's gonna work out based on the weather and everything else going on in my life. But my goal was to get the footers in, poured before it starts freezing up here. That would be late November, early December is when it really starts to really deep freeze around here. Otherwise, it's a very beautiful day. It's 77 degrees right now, 78 degrees. It's just a slight breeze, but it's absolutely beautiful up here. It's so green and everything's way overgrown, but it's peaceful. It's very quiet. You can hear nothing but crickets and grasshoppers, birds, and the wind. So, very cool. Well, I couldn't wait. I wanted to figure out what was going on definitively with my solar out here in the shipping container, and I figured it out, and it is what I thought it was originally. So let's go take a look. I'm going to turn this on, even though I probably shouldn't, but this is working just fine now. These are both working. Nothing wrong with these. I'm the problem, not these. I'm going to turn this on, even though I probably shouldn't right now, because I should let the batteries just really deep charge, but all right. The reason why is I want to turn the light on. Okay. So I got to thinking, when I was thinking about other things like digging holes, maybe there's nothing wrong with those, and it's the batteries instead. Maybe the batteries are such a low voltage that these won't even turn on anymore. So I went ahead and popped the caps on all the batteries, and sure enough, they were way low on distilled water. In fact, there's 6 batteries, and there's 6 empty 1-gallon bottles, and a third taken out of that one there. So 6 1/3 gallons it took to fill those 6 batteries. That's the problem. The battery bank was down to 7 volts, which is not good. And I'm assuming that those plates, the lead plates inside each cell, has been exposed, not covered in water for a very long time. So I probably damaged the batteries. But they are taking a charge. They are up to 12.8 volts. I don't know if you can see that, but even got a little smiley face. So when the sun goes down, we'll come out and take a look at the battery voltage and see if it starts quickly dropping. That's my assumption, I believe. Well, I could probably make that happen right now, actually. Yep, I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, turning that off. This has dropped 12.7 volts. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm almost betting that the voltage is going to drop significantly. Down to 12.4. .3. I got to be honest, I thought it was going to drop a lot faster and farther than that. I thought it was going to get down to like 8 volts. It's at 12.2 now. Well, alrighty then. Let's give it some more juice. Solar just kicked on. And up the voltage goes. All right, I'm going to keep dumping a lot of amperage into these batteries for a bit, just to kind of shock them. I've had to do that before on my larger battery bank over there. Once, when, well, actually a couple times, but when a heavy load got left on while I wasn't here, and it zapped those batteries down to, I don't even know how many, a couple volts. But I had to hit the batteries really hard with current for a long time to get them to take a charge again, and then they came back. So we'll see what happens with these. The plates were exposed for, I'm assuming, a very long time, so who knows, they may not hold a charge after this, but we'll find out. I'm going to just keep dumping power into them and try to get them full and just sit there, and we'll see what happens with this later. Do you guys see that? Do you see what that is? That is called a tarantula hawk. Sadie, do not. Those are very painful. If you get stung by one of those, it's akin to a gunshot wound. The pain from the sting lasts for days, and it's excruciating. That thing, and that's a small one. They get much larger than that. That's probably an inch and a half long, inch and a half long. They get way bigger than that. But that nasty little creature, about 1 minute ago, as I'm sitting in the chair here, decided to land right here on my leg. And I didn't notice it until it moved, and when I looked down and saw what it was, there ain't a whole lot that scares me in life. But that got me a little excited. I did not want to get stung by one of those. They're all over the place down here in Arizona, California. They're nasty. They're called tarantula hawks because they go around and they look for tarantulas, and when they find them, they attack the tarantula, and then they lay their eggs, I believe, in the tarantula, and then it doesn't typically initially kill the tarantula, but they over time the eggs hatch or whatever inside and eat their way out. So they are nasty, horrible little creatures, and I don't want to get stung by one of those. So right now I'm just enjoying myself, just having myself a little refreshment, sitting in the shade here in my chair, and Sadie's over here sniffing the flowers. Yeah, we're talking about you. It's getting old. You're getting old, dog. Got all this white on your face. Such a good dog. Anyways, we're just sitting here enjoying the beauty before us here. It's absolutely beautiful. Just stunning, green, and full of color from the flowers everywhere. A lot of grasses have grown in, as you can see here. But yeah, just taking a moment to just sit here and just chill, decompress, unwind, and absorb the moment. So, okay, so I've done some pondering, and I was thinking maybe I would put the carport right over there, because I've been thinking about putting a carport over there for several years now for parking. But I walked over there, and yeah, there's just way too much rock, big rock. So I have decided that it is going to go over there. Here in a little bit, I'm going to move the frame to my old Harbor Freight carport. I'm going to move that out of the way. Take the tractor over there and start scraping around and kind of eyeball a rough layout, and then dig a pilot hole. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here, blast some tunes, and finish my little drink here, and hopefully I don't get attacked by another tarantula hawk. And yeah, then I'll get to work. So see you in a little bit, guys. I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer. Visually, I'm thinking back wall or back side of the carport here. And then that way, front of the carport over there. And this appears at first glance to be the high corner right here. So I'm gonna dig a test hole right here. All right, guys, so it's been a minute since I've operated the backhoe on this thing, so please don't judge me. Ooh, there's a big rock down there. Oh, okay, that's definitely not 4 feet. I don't think it's even 32 inches. I'm up against a huge rock down there. So that's as deep as this thing is gonna go. Let me go get a tape measure and see how deep we are. Okay, got the tape measure. Let's see. I'm gonna measure from the high point on this massive rock down here. Basically 31 inches. That's solid rock down there. I'm chipping away at it with my teeth on the backhoe bucket, but it's not good for the teeth. This is solid rock. And it's just breaking it apart piece by piece. You can tell one of my bucket teeth right there. But yeah, that's as deep as that hole is gonna get. 31 inches? Let's see how well a sonotube fits in there. So this is 48 inches. So that's as far as that sonotube's gonna go. We'll have to trim it at the top once we backfill it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for that sonotube. There are some places I can dig deeper and some places I can't. So that's where that one's gonna go. I think right now I'm just gonna backfill it with a shovel. We're gonna put something over the top of it so, you know, the rain and the cows don't mess with it. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So we'll see here in just a little bit. Okay, so I've backfilled my sonotube. That hole is no more. All that's left is this form here. And if you can see, it is perfectly level on top. That's what we want. I mean, it's not crucial because I'm gonna end up cutting that down anyways. I'm gonna end up cutting that down probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches above grade. This is it. This is the spot. So, all right. I'm probably going to conclude the video here for a couple of reasons. Number one, my battery is running low and it's getting late in the day. I got a lot done today and I'm happy with what I've gotten done. It's always good when you lose sleep and drive 6 hours for one day and you end up getting a lot of stuff done. It sucks when you come up here and you don't get much done and you gotta drive all the way back and you feel like you've wasted a day, but you haven't because you got to come up here and relax. But either way, it's always good to come up here and get a bunch of stuff done. I feel like it was worth the lost sleep and drive time here and back. So, all right, so right now I'm just gonna go park the tractor. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a tarp back over it, strap it down, pick up a couple things, make some dinner, watch a little TV inside the cabin, and then I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm extremely tired and I have to get up early in the morning. So, I don't know when I'll be back up here. I don't have next month's schedule yet. It will be sometime next month. I know that I said that in July, but the monsoons came through and just wrecked all of my plans. But I should be able to get up here in July. So, or I'm tired, guys. October. I should be able to get up here in October. That's the plan, and I'm gonna dig 2 more holes and put 2 more sonotubes in and get that all figured out. So, all right, guys, I know it's been a long time since we've seen each other, and I know this is a long video because I'm trying to catch up for lost time, but you guys, thanks for sticking by. If you've made it this far, thumbs up to you. You're awesome. So you guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.